Hi again, good morning to everyone who is still with us after my colleague's presentation. This is Anka from Funding Box. Very happy to be here today to be presenting to you this call for applications from artists this time. So for those of you who have joined us later, I will be going through some general details regarding this call for applications and the Better Factory project. For those who have already been with us in the first session, some of this information may be already familiar, but I am still going through it briefly so that we make sure everyone joining later can get a better understanding of Better Factory. So Better Factory project is an EU initiative, and this is meant to help, like other EU projects, European manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps to enter new markets. The idea of the project is to provide this support by ensuring a collaboration between manufacturing SMEs and artists and technology suppliers. This way, manufacturing SMEs or mid-caps could find solutions through the collaboration they have with artists and technology suppliers to find to reduce their production cost, to redesign their products, their portfolio, and they can also find via this project financial and business consultancy. Basically, manufacturing SMEs or mid-caps or slightly bigger companies in this case will be given access to RAMP. RAMP is the robotics and automation marketplace that we engage in the project in order to have manufacturing SMEs and companies interact and sell and buy their products. So basically in RAMP, all registered companies manufacturing SMEs are able to buy technology and services, while technology suppliers and artists, as well as financial and business consultants, are able to sell their technology and services. This provides a good opportunity for all parties involved to interact, connect, and further develop their services and products. Regarding this specific open call for Better Factory, which is a preliminary step for individual applicants, we are looking to engage manufacturing SMEs, slightly bigger companies, and mid-caps, as well as artists and tech supplier, to submit their application through one of the 3 open calls available on the Funding Box platform. And they can submit their expression of interest in the case of a manufacturing SME, which Antonio went into more detail earlier. Artists are currently able to present their applications through the open call for artists, and they will be and they are invited to present their application, which is a very short and brief presentation of their artistic experience and background. If they are willing to collaborate with manufacturing SMEs, mid-caps or slightly bigger companies, and technology suppliers in order to assist the redesign and co-creation of new products and services. Artists, as you will see further on in the presentation, they can be freelancers or companies, legally constituted companies, and they can submit this application through their individual call available on the platform. At this stage, Better Factory project is about offering an opportunity to individual applicants to join a future consortium. And this future consortium will be able to start on a knowledge transfer program. The consortium has to be constituted from 1 manufacturing SME, slightly bigger company or a mid-cap, 1 artist, and 1 technology supplier. In order for a consortium to be eligible and to further present a proposal in one of the 2 open calls, which are going to be open throughout the period of the project, they have to maintain this team. They have to be able to provide a team formed of each of one of these 3 applicants. So as it was mentioned before, Better Factory will launch 2 open calls. One of them is this year, starting with 1st of May, and the other one will be next year. And through these 2 open calls, Better Factory partners will be able to select 16 in total, 8 per each open call, knowledge transfer experiments, and each of them would be able to receive up to euro 200,000 of funding. So this is a lump sum per consortium formed of 1 manufacturing SME, 1 artist, and 1 technology supplier, and this will be granted to a total of 16 KTIs, knowledge transfer experiments, within the 2 open calls, 1 this year and 1 the following year. The knowledge transfer experiments will be supported to design new product lines, and this way they will be also able to engage in a process of digitization and deploy automation solutions in the factory. These are the industry sectors that we prioritized, but this doesn't mean these are the only ones admitted to be eligible in the call. So plastic and rubber, furniture and wood, food and agriculture, construction, metal and machinery, textile and leather companies will be the ones who are going to be prioritized when submitting the applications and the challenges presented by the SME. This is the first open call for individual applications, and the objective within this call is to select the most innovative challenges addressed by manufacturing SMEs, slightly bigger companies or mid-caps, and to help us identify those artists and tech suppliers willing to address and collaborate on these challenges with the manufacturing SMEs, and later on apply as a consortium to the open call for full proposals. We are right now in this first step, which started 18th of January and will be open, the call will be open until 18th of March this year. And this is the opportunity for individual artists to submit their application. As I mentioned before, when you go to the platform, you'll see the application form and the guidelines there. The application form is quite an easy process where it is very recommended to highlight your artistic background and experience, and you can apply also as a freelancer. The deadline is 18th of March. After you have submitted the application as an individual, you will be entering the pre-selection process, which will end by 31st of March. And the pre-selection process will validate those applications that we consider can address and can collaborate with manufacturing SMEs and tech suppliers to overcome the challenges the manufacturing SMEs present. So the pre-selection of the artists will be done continuously. We'll be evaluating all submitted applications throughout this period, February 25th to March 31st. And you will be receiving an email after you have submitted the application. You will be receiving an email with the result of this pre-selection process. Whether it's a positive or a negative reply, we will always send you an email and let you know. And this, if it's a negative answer, this enables you to take into account the feedback we provide and maybe resubmit in case the rejection reason is something that you can still work upon. Further on, after the validation, once you receive the positive reply email, you will be you will be required to join RAMP. RAMP, as I said, is the platform, the marketplace, which enables manufacturing SMEs, technology suppliers, and artists meet, contact, and work together. So once with the validation email, together with the validation email, you will be receiving the invitation to register to RAMP. As an artist, as a freelancer, you will be able to register as well. And this is where we start the matchmaking for those individual applicants which have been previously validated. So from the end of February until mid-April, we would be doing the matchmaking and forming the consortia, which will be able to apply for the first open call for consortia for full proposals to be launched on 1st of May and opened until July 15th. So this is where the teams of manufacturing SMEs or mid-caps, together with an artist and a tech supplier, can submit their full proposal. As I've mentioned before, you are invited to register and submit the application until the 18th of March. Once we have identified those artists willing to test their creativity and work with manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps through the application form they can find on the platform, they will be invited to join, to register in RAMP and join the manufacturing SMEs and tech suppliers. And with the help of the Better Factory Consortium, we'll be able to constitute those teams which will apply to the full proposal call as a consortium. The application, the full proposal application process selection process is a bit different from the one we have been talking about up to this stage, because this is the selection procedure regarding full proposals coming from a team of manufacturing SME, artist, and tech supplier. So starting with the 1st of May, both consortia constituted through RAMP, that is applicants, individual applicants which have been selected and validated through the preliminary application process, and also consortia constituted outside the matchmaking process and outside the preliminary application process, can present their full proposals. So from 1st of May up to July 15th, these two types of consortia formed outside or within the matchmaking process that we enable through RAMP can present their proposals, and the full proposals will go through a selection process which will be clearly defined and in detail presented in the guides for applicants, which will be available as well once the open call is launched. So the eligibility check will follow certain criteria for eligibility, and then the pre-selected applications will go through evaluations through the internal evaluation and consensus meeting, and finally to the jury day, where we will be selecting 8 knowledge transfer experiments to be granted the 200,000 euros per consortium. The idea of Better Factory, as I've said initially, is to help manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps to redesign and rethink their portfolio and launch on the market with a personalized product line and a digitized production line. So the selected manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps will define through the initial application process a challenge and will be paired with an artist. Further down the line, they will be also joined by a technology supplier. They will collaborate to redesign the products for personalization around the core value proposition of the product, or design new products and services based on the core knowledge of the company. So basically, a manufacturing SME defines a challenge they face in order to find a solution together with the artist and tech supplier that would enable them to come up on the market with a new design or a new product and service, and maintaining the core value of the company. Further on, we'll deploy advanced production planning services as a technology with a technology supplier to transform the factory into a fully reconfigurable cyber physical production system. At the same time, providing optimum combination of lean agile production and increasing product line for each batch of new or personalized products. So your creativity and experiment will have their story told and shared among better factory networks, not only within RAMP, the marketplace, but also within all our networking, which includes all 28 partners that the Better Factory project is made of. Our value proposition for artists considering to apply for this open call is the promise of a possible funding and testing. And this is possible once the artists are validated through the preliminary application, individual application process, and they have joined a manufacturing SME and a tech supplier, presented a full proposal to the open call, and have been, after the selection process of the the application, they have been selected as one of the winning knowledge transfer experiments. So once they have got there, they would be able to create, ideate, and design new creative applications, services, and products for manufacturing SMEs, and access up to 50,000 euros in funding to design a new product, prototype, or service. Artists will also have access to mentoring, to art mentors, which will help them define their design. They will be provided access as well to training on how to use the RAMP, the marketplace platform, to connect between stakeholders, and they are going to be working on RAMP. They will be able to sell their creative services on the RAMP platform to manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps. These are some of the benefits that we propose for the artists. When it comes to the eligibility criteria, as I've mentioned earlier, both legally constitute companies and freelancers, self-employed individuals that undertake artistic projects or have artistic profession or job occupations, such as performers, designers, painters, they are eligible to apply for this individual call. They have to be established in an eligible country. This means EU members or H2020 associated countries, UK as well, and the complete list of EU members and H2020 associated countries can be found in the guidelines that are available on the application platform. They have to be, if they are legally constituted, they have to be an entity registered under the code 9003 artistic creation. If you are applying as a company and you have a whole team working behind, and you will be asked, for example, to submit your resume, your curriculum vitae, and if you are applying as a company, a presentation of the company would do, as well as to make proof of your artistic experience and background. So at this application phase, you will be required to demonstrate a collaborative related experience in industry projects. a background or professional experience in one of the prioritized sectors, which I mentioned earlier. This information you will also find in the guidelines. You need to have some experience working with technological means and digital aids, and an interest in working to explore new paths to progress or humanizing technology. So this criteria is to be found in the guidelines and throughout the application form, which is more of a series of questions that enable you to provide all the information we need in order to assess your application. Make sure you emphasize all your experience, and you can also upload documents that you consider relevant to demonstrate your experience and background and your previous collaborations with the industry and other technological partners you may have had in the past. So once you have submitted this individual application until March 18th, you will be receiving an email regarding the status of the application, whether it is validated or not. So don't leave it to the last day. Maybe if you get a negative reply, you can consider the feedback and reapply. So don't leave it to the last day, for the 18th of March, okay? So what artists do we look for? We were, as Antonio said earlier, we were counting on our partner Rodolfo to explain a bit further these examples, but I will try to give you some insight. Artist and designer in the Bauhaus tradition. I'm pretty sure that artists are more familiar with this term than I may be. Basically focused on combining elements from the arts, design with material and scientific knowledge to create potential iconic new products. We have here an example of iconic Bauhaus design objects. And another example that we wanted to let you have in order to get an idea of what we're looking. Artists and designers in the EAT tradition. That is, artists and designers focused on combining elements from the arts, design with technological and scientific knowledge to create radical new products. So hopefully these two ideas will give you a more insightful perception of what kind of applications we are looking for. So the application submission, which started on January 18th, will be open until March 18th. You will be able to go to the platform, which is a dedicated platform for artists on the Funding Box website, and you can start a new application. It will take you about a couple of hours to submit the application. You can find all answers, or almost all answers, in the guides and documents. But if you cannot find those the information that you require here, we can always you can always send us your questions in Spaces at Funding Box, and we'll be answering through the help desk. Good luck, everyone. I will see if we have any questions, and I will probably ask Antonio to reply to those questions if there are any. Also, you can find us on our website, on Twitter and LinkedIn, and you can engage and connect with us by whichever means you find more appropriate. But for particular questions, we really encourage you to go to the help desk, because we are there, and you can see questions from other potential applicants as well, and maybe that gives you some more information you may need when applying for the artist call. I will see now if we have any questions.
Thank you, Anka. Maybe I can you can answer the questions and I read them. There is one, actually.
Okay.
It's possible to an artist who has not selected at this stage to submit a proposal for an experiment in consortia at the last stage?
Yes, it is possible, but they will have to be constituted as a consortium, and the team has to be made up of one manufacturing SME, slightly bigger company or mid-cap, plus one artist, plus one tech supplier. So it's okay for you if you have these connections and you already have this relationship set up. It's okay for you not to apply for the individual call and just submit your proposal, which will be a full proposal, a project, in the open call, which starts on May 1st.
Okay, there is another question. Dear Anka, if my company doesn't have VAT system, may I register without it?
I presume we are talking about an artistic company, and it is legally constituted. Yes, if it doesn't have a VAT system, they should be able to provide whatever registration number they have with the legal entity and can apply for this open call.
However, let me add something.
Yes, please.
Okay. If you don't have a VAT system, I suppose it's because you are not paying taxes, or because you are working as a freelance without paying taxes. This is something very, very dangerous for us. So maybe we should have a better explanation on why you don't have a VAT system. There are some public companies that don't have, or NGOs, organizations in some countries that they don't need a VAT.
Ajde, mail, kako se rekla, da ga pretraži?
Hi, I unmuted Dejan, who made the question. Maybe he would like to offer further explanations.
Can you clarify that? I don't know if there was someone speaking or trying to speak.
Yeah, he's self-muted, so if you would like to clarify that. Dejan?
Okay, if he's not clarifying this, we need to wait until he gives us more explanations. But in principle, we would like to have all of them with this VAT. Okay, you can be an European Union intra-operator, then the VAT is zero, but independently of that, you always pay. But we don't want these people who don't pay taxes, okay? Because that would leave us into a trouble, because we cannot provide funding to companies or people who are not registered anyway in these offer local country tax authorities. Okay, the next question.
Let's try to hear Orsolia. Orsolia, can you hear us? Can you make the question live? Okay, yes, we're listening.
Thank you. So you showed some nice pics about how you imagine the cooperation of an artist and the manufacturing company. So these were examples of radical new products. It's clear that I have no question about it. In the call text, it is written that you are waiting for new products and services. So in the case, I have a company who is interested in submitting probably an application, but they will not be able to radically change their products, but services linked to their activities is possible. So can the changes only go with product changes or also only with the service changes? So what are your expectations about this? How do you imagine this?
Antonio, would you like to take this
Yes,
one?
okay, we are talking about products or services. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
Then there is, okay, with the manufacturing aspect, this is from Shiley Harrison. With the manufacturing aspect, can that be non-physical, for example, creation of digital assets? Well, here I'm not imagining what you are meaning actually non-physical things, but in fact, what we are expecting is that thanks to your creativity and your ideas from the artistic point of view, okay, there is a redesign of the product or the service that a certain manufacturing SME is providing. So in the end, the result of the experiment has to be tested in a physical environment, in a real factory. It cannot be something, on paper. So if what you are meaning is meeting or is matching this requirement, it will be fine. If not, it has to be something that can be applied into a physical manufacturing SME in a physical factory.
I asked this question because there are certain products that exist in digital space, and they're not physically produced with materials, but they're produced with technology. So they are still creating product, but they are not tangible. And I just wonder whether these kind of scenarios apply or whether it's mainly focused on creating tangible goods exclusively.
Okay, bear in mind that the main objective is that we help a manufacturing SME.
Mm. Okay.
We as Better Factory, you as an artist, technology supplier, as a technology expert. So the result has to be something that the manufacturing SME can show and experiment and show to the world that thanks to this collaboration, they have created, or you have created all together something that has two main components. One is that it's innovative. There is a product or a service innovation. There is an innovation in the result. It makes the service that, just imagine that the manufacturing SME is more related to products in the end, okay? But it can be also a product that thanks to a service, a better service, they create something that is well positioned in the market and is more attractive to the market. So, and they can make more business out of it. So there has to be an innovation. And the second thing is that there has to be an optimization in the processes, in the production cost process, in the So anything that helps to that is fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Welcome. Another question, Anka. I don't know if you can answer that.
Yes.
Can an artist be a part of two different consortia in the main open call?
An artist, if the consortia is different and the project proposal is different, the application is different, I believe the answer is yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Antonio.
I mean, anyone can submit as many proposals as they like, but only one can be selected. Okay, so if you are participating in two different consortia, bear in mind that in the end, if just imagine that the two of them are in the are ranked between or among the 8 that should be selected, only one could be selected. You cannot be selected in two different consortia. But you can apply to X. You do as many consortia as you like. But bear in mind that only one could be selected. Then there is.
How do you imagine a radical new service?
I think you already.
We already answered to that one.
I pay my taxes diligent. I pay my taxes with final bill for my company at the end of every year. But profits are made, so all taxes are included, but in different way of counting.
Okay.
Wow.
This is a follow-up to what you were replying.
Yeah. But it's even less clear. I mean, if you pay your taxes and you submit an invoice, but bear in mind the following. We are not going to pay you against an invoice. You are not going to, because this is a grant, a sub-grant. So if you know a little bit of accountancy, a grant is not the same as an invoice or a service. We don't require an invoice at your end, okay? But I would prefer that you pay your taxes. We make sure that you pay your taxes. So that's why we are requesting for this VAT, okay? Because we are going to check you before we select the consortium. We are going to do a legal check. Our funding box legal department is going to do and verify if you are an SME, if you are not an SME, if you are okay, if you are really eligible. And one of the things we are going to check if you are paying your taxes or not. So bear that in mind. I cannot understand very well your procedure because depending on the country, it can be different. But bear in mind that you might be rejected at the very end of the process because you are not legally eligible. You know, we don't want to come up to that point, but taxes are important that in the end you comply with your taxes in your country. If you are allowed to do as the way you are explaining here in your country, then you will have to prove us that this is correct, because we cannot understand the tax policies in all the countries of the European Union. Should I go as a freelancer? You can go as a freelancer, but again, the freelancer has to be somewhat pay taxes. You know. Okay, I think they are not. I don't know, Dejan, if you want to give a further explanation, or if there is anybody else, concerned about this topic as well, taxes, etc. But you are not going to be sending us an invoice by any means. We are going to pay you against deliverables a grant. That's it. And a grant is not considered in the P&L, in the profit and loss account, so there is no need for any.
Okay, I can see no further questions. So no other questions and no hands raised, except for Orsolia, who I think is like that for for the last time we spoke. So yeah, I think we can take the break now and continue after the break with the presentation for technology suppliers, which, as Antonio mentioned at the very beginning, is following pretty much the same process as we've presented in the last two sessions, in the last two presentations. But whoever is interested to get a better understanding of the criteria of eligibility and other information relevant for technology supplier applicants, please come back at 12 o'clock, and we'll continue with the presentation for technology suppliers for the first call of Better Factory project.